Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. So we just got done. This is field 45, and we just got done cultivating it. I got rid of the cultiplow, and I got the Horse Joker 12 meter. It rolls a lot faster, and it's 50% wider. So I think it was a good choice. Let's get this parked up. We're done with this thing anyway. And I figured out what to do with this field. We're going to put sunflower in it. I rarely plant sunflower on any map, so it's going to be kind of a different thing for us. We'll get this put away, and I'll tell you what's going on as far as the whole plan. The whole deal. One thing I can tell you is, man, I am loving this map. Oh, I won't say it's the best map ever, because that's always, I mean, you don't want to say that, because then, right? A little while later you do another map and it's like, oh no, this is the best map ever. I'll just tell you, it's a really, really good map. So, water tower. I looked all over this map. I literally looked all over this map for an hour and I couldn't find water. I found some ponds, but I couldn't get a trailer into them. Water trailer. So, I went ahead and bought that. I was going to get just one of the little hydrants, you know, for a couple $1,000, and I thought, no, because I'm sure there's water on this map. I'm just an idiot and I can't find it. So I thought, let's buy this thing for 25 grand. And I sort of like, I wanted to tax myself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't find the water. I didn't want to be like, oh, I can't find the water, I'll just throw in a hydrant, you know. Like, I don't want to say I wanted to punish myself, but you know what I mean. I wanted to keep myself honest. Like, I couldn't find the water, that's on me, and so I need to pay a price for that, and the price that I have to pay is 25,000 bucks. So I did double up some things. Well, we got a lot of equipment put away, and I did double up some things, and that freed up some slots over here, because these are really, really deep. And like, I had a tedder in one, and it was taking up, probably no joke, like 15 or 20% of the length of the slot. And it's like, oh no, man, we can fit a lot more in there. So come on, 500 horsepower tractor, you can back up an implement. There you go. Come on. There it is. And then down on the, well, let me pull out a little bit and I'll show you. Down on the side there. This is pretty much everything poo related at the moment. I put our tank away. I cleaned up that whole corner, the intersection of those two farm roads where we were working, and I had all this equipment parked out there, and I looked like a total slob. I'm not. I put my gear away. I just hadn't put it away because we were working down there. So there's our field tank. And then this is our Coeco injector. And then our transport tank is back there. And this tractor trailer. This truck won't stay there. It's just there for the moment, but we'll find a home for it. And then I also, our two balers, I pulled out of the garage and I put into this little shed right here. I thought that's a good place for them, right? They fit pretty well there. We've got some other equipment over here. We've got our 435, our Magnum. We've got our Magnum here. There's the water tank that we got, and this little tiny shed right up here is perfect for our two 1455s. They fit right in there. Perfect. So we're gonna get the quad track put away. Well, you know what? I don't even need to put it away. I'm gonna put it in the wash stall that I got, and then we'll hop in the Puma. I wanted to show you something today. I did in field 48. Field 48 is kind of irregularly shaped. You know, I've been all fired up about tram lines on this map. Big oval fields. Big rectangular fields. And I'm used to big oval fields and kind of irregularly shaped fields, and you can't really do tram lines. You can, but it takes some extra work that I'm just not always in the mood to do. But because we've got tram lines in all our rectangular fields, I thought, well, you know, better do them in all the fields. And field 45 is irregularly shaped. So I'm going to show you, because I did them in field 48, I'm going to show you how I do tram lines, right? I don't know, you know, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. I don't know. So this thing has plenty of seed. We just filled up seed here at there's the source right there. In that barn, in that shed, is the stall with the seeds. And we have fertilizer on board. Let me close the lid. We have fertilizer on board. And we have fertilizer still in our tender. And what I'm trying to do is run everything down to 0. So we don't have any, right? So we're not leaving seed or fertilizer in any of our implements over the winter, because that's not really good for them. Particularly the fertilizer, it'll rot. It'll rot right through metal. It's crazy. So here's the steps we take. First thing we turn on is Proceed. And then we turn on GPS. If you don't have GPS, you need to get on that. It's amazing. So, we're also going to need our compass. That's it right down there. And I may need to swap this tractor out, because this has a pretty big, you know what, let's just do it right now. Let's just do it right now, because there's a pretty big slope, and this Puma is a great tractor on flat ground, but I'm not sure that I have enough tractor when we get into those hills. So, slow this down. Drop that right there. I love this map. I really do. I'm so pleased that I came across it. And I wasn't going to download it. I saw it, and I thought, you know, it's fine. I got 2 maps going, and FS19 is going to be out momentarily. I ain't even messing with it. Wow, I'm glad I messed with it. Let us get our Magnum. We'll just crawl in through the skylight, I guess. Needs fuel. We can do that. Actually, we can do that. No. I was going to do it in the stall, but that'd be cheating. You can't get fuel through a wall. I mean, I suppose you could say we're like snaking the hose through there, but that ain't cool. Right, so that's refueling. You know what? While that's refueling, let me show you something. Oh, while that's refueling, let me wash this thing. All right. I'm not known for clean tractors, but I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. Go in front of the pole. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that, man. Look at that. Beautiful. And check this out. I traded in, you remember we had that Titan pellet fertilizer spreader? I paid like 200 grand for that thing. It had no spread, and there was no way to put row crop tires on it. So I started thinking, what is this good for? You know? It's not really good for anything. So I went ahead and got the Horsch boom sprayer, liquid boom sprayer. Hauled it down here yesterday, and we are going to use that as soon as our crops start to sprout. We are going to use that, and we can also use it for these grass fields right here. It's maybe not the most traditional use of a boom sprayer to spray grass, but I mean, you can. It's not like you can't use it to spray grass. It's just not typically done. Right. That is enough fuel. So we're going to go pick up our We're going to go pick up our sunflower drill. There might have been a more efficient way to do this. There often is. Well, shoot. I guess we'll just keep backing up. We're right there. Right. So now, after all that faffing about, tramline technique. This is my tramline technique. And like I said, I have no idea whether it's right, wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. I just know this is how I do it. So, if you look at the compass down there, I try to get us as close as possible to 180 degrees. Fire up the GPS. We're going to turn it 90 degrees and it should line right up, and it does. Space it out, 0 offset. And we're going to put it right. You know what? I'm going to... I don't know. That looks like it's... like the road is not quite, you know? Right, so set the width, set the angle, right? Get everything set up. And then on proceed, we're going to set it to GPS, 36 meter, because our boom sprayer is 36 meter, right? And, yeah. So now, here's how this will work. The row that we're in right now will not have tram lines because it's the outermost row, right? So it's going to be, if you visualize 36 meter boom sprayer, it's 18 meters on either side of center line, right? So that's going to be 6 plus 12. 12 is the outer row, which is what we're in right now, right? And then half of this row. So 12 on our right, and 6 from this one makes 18. So this will be a tram line row. However, we're going to put it in as a headland. And this will make sense. When we get done, this will make sense. We're going to do 2 headlands. The inner headland will be a tramline headland. The outer headland will not be. So now, here's the tricky part. We need to start our rows approximately 24 meters from the edge of the field, which is 12 and 12. The outer headland, no tramline. The inner headland, tramline, but they're each 12 meters, so 24 meters. So we have to kind of visualize 12 meters. You with me? You still with me? So, get this turned on. Confirm that we have sunflower. We do. Confirm proceed. Proceed is good. GPS is good. Everything is good. And I'm going to call that 24 meters. Right, so we're going to drive down to... I'm not going to time-lapse this, by the way, either. You're sticking with me through this, or you're not. You know, it's completely up to you. But I'm not going to time-lapse it. It's not a very big field for a 12-meter implement. And I'm glad we got the Magnum, because this is... Right? You see in this hill? It gets steeper on the other side. So, the row that we're in, no tram line. The one immediately to our right, tram line. The one after that, no tram line. And that sort of makes one set, I guess. So that means the one to our left is the beginning of another set. So the one to our left, right? No tram line. So what we're going to do is make pairs all the way across the field. Not pairs. Not like pairs. 24 meters, just guessing right about there. Alright. It's going a little too fast. And I like things to be perfect. get this all swung around. Right there. There you go. Back on GPS. There you go. And these may be a little bit off on the ends. I know it. I'm not, you know, I don't get that meticulous about it. I want it to be perfect, but I'm not going to make myself crazy. So we'll head back down here. And you see what I'm doing already. Like, it's making sense to you. Then we're going to skip a row, right? We're going to skip a row. You see what I'm doing. Now we can, if you want to, we can do our tramline rows now, our tramline lengths. We can do them now and then just cut in the headland all at once. But for some reason, I don't know why, I prefer to do like pairs. And when you slave proceed to your GPS, it will do it automatically. So if you watch now, so we're going to come to the end of our row. Right about there. Now check it out. When we cross row 2, see, if you look at proceed, see that green bar at the bottom of proceed? It's got the 2 little red nibs on it right now. That's to indicate that in row 2, in track 2, it would make tram lines. But we're going past that. And we're going to number 3, and they turn off again. Ah. Right? It's genius. I love that all these things are made by different mod makers. I know some of them kind of collaborate and, you know, get with each other, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. People just make this stuff. Alright. So here we go. And yeah, we'll move through this pretty quickly because it's not that big a field, and this is a pretty big implement. Concentrating, focusing. You know, there is a countdown down in the bottom right corner of GPS. There's a countdown, but that's from the nose of the tractor to the edge of the field, not from the work area of the implement. So you see what I mean? It doesn't really work for me. Like, if we could make it count down to the edge of the implement, that would be fantastic, because we just needed to say 24, but it's not how it works. However, it will give you at least some consistency in terms of, you know, the same number every time. If you can find the right number, even though it's basing it off the front of the tractor rather than the work surface of the implement, it's better than nothing. Alright. And back down here. And what I like about this is, it's not perfect. I know it's not perfect, but what I like about this is you can use it on irregular fields. And I haven't done this in a while. I haven't been doing it on Upton, and Northstone is too small, but I haven't been doing it on Upton, and I guess I should have. In fact, I did today. By the time you see this episode, the Upton episode where I did it will already have been posted. But it's just something, for some reason, I wasn't doing it in Upton. But tram lines are one of those immersive details that I think really, for me, it really makes a difference in the gameplay. And I don't know how realistic you like to play. It's completely up to you. It's a game, man. It's your game. Play it any way you want. Right. So, there's our tramline row. And we're what did I hit? Did I hit a fence? I did. I could barely see it. This is why we can't have nice things. However, something to keep in mind, because that's right. Something to be aware of. Don't hit it later. Does it go all the way around? It sure does. Okay. Ah. Tricky. Well, not really. It's a fence. That's what fences do. Like it, right? Like it's some kind of surprise fence. Oh, look at that fence. It wraps around a field. No fence has ever done that. Alright. Get kind of scooted over here. Like so. Back on GPS. Cruise control. And some of these will get a little funky. You'll see when we do our headlands. Some of them, you know, it's just, they just won't make sense. It's like there's no way to make them make sense. But what I keep in mind now is that so many implements and drills and seeders and planters, they're all GPS controlled, and they selectively cut rows and lift rows. So if your GPS or the software that you use as a real farmer, if it generates a plot for a field that has like a tricky corner or like a weird little whatever, the software will selectively cut rows and cause your seed drill to lift drills so it doesn't do the same place twice. It's crazy. Like, I watch farm simulator videos, but I also watch like real farming videos and technology videos from Cabernet and Kuhn and New Holland. Agricultural technology is amazing. It's very, very cool. The one thing I'm a little not sad about, but it's kind of on my mind, is I'm seeing more and more videos for automated tractors, fully automated tractors. They don't even have a cab on them. It's an odd thing to see because it just doesn't have a cab on it. So if you can visualize this tractor that we're looking at right here, and everything from the hood line up isn't there. There's no glass, there's no cab, it's just flat on top. And that's it. There is no driver compartment. It's not even an option. There cannot be a driver. It is 100% automated. Or, well, not necessarily automated, but it's software controlled. It's controlled from somewhere else. And I don't know. You know, I wonder if in my lifetime, probably not all over the world, because not all countries and not all farmers are wealthy enough to have something like that, but I think about, you know, in my lifetime, what we'll see the end of and what we'll see the beginning of. And that's interesting stuff. I think there will always be farmers, but I don't know if, well, everything changes, right? Things move forward. Alright, so we've just got a couple more of these long rows, and then we're going to do some short rows on the other side. Those are the ones that they sort of trip me out, because it's like, you know, is this even a row? Does this even need to be a row? And it feels like maybe it shouldn't be because it's so short, you know? Is it really worth, like, not losing crop, but is it really worth cutting a tram line here? And again, it's one of those things, like, it may not look right, but it is right. And it all makes sense when it sort of comes together. Now, here's a tricky one. To our left right now, that looks like two headlands right there. It's like it's not even worth. Alright, so we'll go up here to the road, we'll turn around, and we'll only come back to the end here, because that area is going to be covered by those headlands, if that makes sense. You feel me? So we won't need to, there's no point going all the way back down there. We're just going to go up to the road and then come back to right about, oh, I don't know, right about somewhere in here. How are we doing on seed and fertilizer? We're doing good. Yeah, I don't like running out of things when I'm working, and I got a little crazy with the fertilizer. We've still got fertilizer in our truck. Looks like about 2,300 liters, and we've still got 5,000 liters in here. It's going very slowly. I doubt we're going to use it all on this field. So I think in the future, what I need to remember is every time I fill seed on this implement and on our cereal drill, every time I fill seed, leave the fertilizer alone. Like, put fertilizer in every third or fourth time that you put seed in, but not every time. Right. Back on GPS. Drop the drill. And we'll just go down. I mean, it has to cut the corner off, right? So there is going to be a little bit of overlap, but try to keep it to a minimum. Where do you think? Where do you think? Right about here. Right. So this is a tramline row. And that means this is our next one that we want to be in. Right about there. Back on GPS. Yep, this is that hill, and I'm glad we didn't try to do this with the Puma, because I don't think the Puma would be feeling it like the Magnum is. Even the Magnum's not feeling it. Come on, Magnum. Come on. Come on. We may need to do these all downhill. I'll finish this one and then we'll do the rest downhill, because that's too much. And I could even, I guess, have done it side hill, and the reason I didn't is because of those long lengths right there. Right? If we did side hill, we would have had these lengths. I'm just talking at you while we're going up the hill. He is making progress. There you go. Better with the four-wheel drive. So we could have done these lengths side hill, but I feel like that's a better run up and down right there. I don't know. I don't know. Right. So get right back in here. Back on the GPS. Drop the implement. Skip a row. I'm going a little too close to the edge of the field. That's not 24, that's more like 12. And that's on me. I don't know if there is another way to sort of measure that or gauge that. I don't know what it is, but that's the tricky part for me, because we're going to go back over those. And like I said, we'll just, for the sake of immersion, we'll just pretend that whatever software we use will calculate that and cut rows for us, so we won't be drilling the same place twice. But like down here, look how close that is. That's way too close. Should be more like back right about here. Yep, that's better. But live and learn. And it's just a game. Nobody cares. I think this will be, we got maybe 2 more pairs, and then we're done. And then we'll switch on tram lines, and we'll do those rows, and then we'll do our headlands. We won't need to do anything in here because this will be taken care of by the headlands. So, turn around right to here. Back on GPS. Cruise control. Drop the implement. And we're just going to scuff this little corner right here, but it's not the end of the world. Now we could have cut that back there and then picked it up again here, because that will be covered by one of our headlands. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say I screwed that up, but could have been done differently. But you'll see when it's all done, hopefully. Now, the other thing is, this is not a direct drill. So if you're doing this with a direct drill, because it's got a sort of a cultivator function in it, if you go back over something that you've already drilled, it will essentially cultivate out what you've drilled and put fresh tram lines in. The rig that we have right now will not do that. It will fill in tram lines, but it will not do the opposite. So if we have drilled something with tram lines, it will fill those tram lines in, but if we have not drilled something with tram lines, it will not add them, if that makes sense. So what we did right there, you'll see when we come around, but it could be that we're going to be, yeah, there may be some gaps in our tram lines. Not in the lengths, but in the headlands. It should all work out. And, you know, it's better than nothing. I don't know, maybe. I think it is. And that other drill, the other horse drill from the horse DLC, is a direct drill. And I don't want to say it makes you lazy, but it's sort of, you know. Now, dilemma, because this is our, okay. I just made an executive decision, is what you heard right there. So then this will be our outer. Okay, so, okay, decision time. So we're going to go to semi. We're going to make it a tram line row, and then we're going to go to manual so it doesn't turn off. And get our distance just about right. Back on GPS. Turn the cruise control on. So this is our inner headland, and we are laying down tram lines. And because we're on manual now, when I lift this, it's not going to cycle as we drive across lanes. But we don't want it to. Because we're going to put in our tram line rows now. There may be some gaps. Like I said, I don't have this all figured out. I just have a basic kind of system. And I'm leaving that one to our right. I'm leaving that blank for the moment because I just don't know what to do with it. I mean, I assume that you would want, that it would be better in farming to have a row with no fertilizer than to have a row with double fertilizer. No fertilizer, you might have less growth, but double fertilizer will kill a crop. So I'm thinking we're going to fill that one in with just a regular row. Maybe. I know, this is not the prettiest, but I'm going to tie it all together at the end. It's going to be beautiful. Maybe. I'm also hoping we don't run out of seed. Should be okay. Now, this is our weird one, right? Because we're going to fold this into a headland as well. So, cruise control on. And like so. There. Cruise control on. Drop the implement. Still good on seed. Time I know there's a fence down here. To be fair, you can barely see it. It's like some kind of a stealth fence. Right. Get right in here. Right. Oh, don't hit it. GPS on. Drop the tool. And it looks like we got 2 more to go. So yeah, I think that odd row on the other side, I think I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with no tram lines. And we will have a patch that is not triple fertilized. It will only be double fertilized, and that's okay. I think it makes more sense, like I said, if you don't have enough fertilizer, maybe you have less growth, but if you have too much fertilizer, you kill the crop. So rather than doubling up and having a quadruple layer of fertilizer there, which is no good, we're going to going with no tram lines. And what that will do, essentially, is we'll have one set of tram lines to one side and another set to the other side, and that strip will be in between. Normally it would have been covered, but because we're skipping it, then it will not be. No, 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 no. Like that, and like that. There you go. I just noticed something. We went over an area that was already seeded, and it did put tram lines in. I was under the impression that this was not a direct drill. So, curious what just happened right there. But we'll see as we get around to the other side. I haven't used this thing a ton, but it was my understanding that it was not a direct drill, and it's always been my understanding that if it's not a direct drill, then it cannot add tram lines. It can only fill them in with seeded area. So, find out momentarily when we do these headlands. If it is a direct drill, then it's going to make things a lot prettier. All right, so we're going to go all the way to the other side of the field and fill in that row, and then we'll start our inner headland. Last thing I did before I sold that Titan, I did put a second layer of fertilizer on our grass fields because they are in growth stage 1 right now, so they can take the second layer of fertilizer. First layer went on, I think, our first or second day, but they've got their second layer now, and then when they hit the second growth stage, I'm going to hit them again with the boom sprayer, and then they will be all ready for grass day. Right, let's find this odd row. There it is. So what we need to do now is go back into proceed. Set break. Go back into proceed, go to semi, select a row that is not a tramline row. So there's that. I think we're going to be just about right on seed. With that. Now, this is the tricky part, and this is the part that I have not been able to figure out. Right now, our GPS is lined up and everything is groovy. If I move it, right, if I turn it 90 degrees, then it's not groovy anymore. So we just got to kind of eyeball this. Ready? Here we go. Ah. Moment. Let's actually add tram lines to our tram line. Pretend that didn't happen. You saw nothing. See, what I want is GPS that lets me have north-south, and east-west at the same time. So, yep, that is adding tram lines to areas that we've already drilled. So I think maybe we're going to be a-okay here. Maybe get in a little bit. Full 12 meters in. Is that about right? That looks like 12 meters. So you see what we're going to do? We're going to have another headland on the outside then. And 36 meters for the total width of the sprayer, right? So that means 18 meters off center line, which is going to be 12, one full width of the implement that we're on right now, plus another half of it for the center row, right? And that adds up to 18, which is half of 36, and everything's cool. That's it. That's my plan. This is not, it's not the prettiest, but you see what we're doing. You see what we're getting at. And when it all grows in, I think it looks amazing. And it looks so much more realistic, I think, because this is something that you would see anywhere in the world, really, where there's farmering. All right. So we're going to make our turn here. Throw it back on the cruise control. Everything's still going good. The tricky bit is going to be around that little tree area right there. I'm hoping things don't go too wonky. I think it ought to be okay. Hopefully. And there are going to be some gaps, I think. So I think some of these rows I started a little too far in, some of them I started a little too far out. But you know what? We're going to have a big yield this year. We're going to have a lot of triple fertilized crops from these huge fields. So I think we're going to do all right. And is it this one? Yeah, see, like right there, I didn't leave enough. So we are going to have, just to our right there, that row is going to be double sprayed. Doesn't mean anything in this game, but in real life that would be, well, no, I take that back. Because sprayers are now GPS controlled as well, and can selectively cut and not double spray areas. Okay. And in fact, we have that mod. I didn't even think about that. We have that mod in game where it won't spray the same area twice. So I guess that's sort of replicating that GPS functionality that you would have in a real sprayer. Okay. So we'll be all right. We're not killing any crops, not this season. Alright, and then we will do our outer headland, and we're done. Yeah, I left that one a little bit short. Too late now, so it's going to have a little gap right there. It's a tiny little gap. Ah, no. All the way out here. Gotta leave 12 meters. Or we'll get our boom caught in those trees. So I realize I'm going over the same areas twice, but like I said, I'm just gonna pretend that we have one of those GPS systems that selectively cuts rows and cuts drills, so you don't drill the same row twice or the same area twice. That's what I'm gonna tell myself anyway. So now, set the brake, back into proceed, select a non-tramline row, brake off, on GPS, on cruise control, drop the implement, and we'll do our final outer headland with no tramline. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's being able to do this at all, I think, is just super cool. I love it. I think it's a very immersive detail. Yeah, see, what I want is like right up here. I mean, I know you can turn the GPS 90 degrees, but I feel like it moves it, like it moves the track that we're on right now when you move the 90-degree track. Like they're not independent from one another. Get back on the field. There we go. Yeah, this last little bit. Now, another way to do it is to do the outer one first and use the outside of the field as a guide. But it feels like cheating to me. You know, you wouldn't do an outer headland first and then an inner headland. The whole point of a headland is you're working toward the outside of the field so you don't drive across the same area twice. So the idea that you would be, right, because if you do the outer headland first, then you're sort of trapped in the field inside the headland. You have to drive over it to get out. And I know we've driven over the same area twice a little bit, but it wasn't intentional. And you know, if we did the outer headland first, then of course it would be intentional, because there'd be no way to get out of the field after we had done that. So, but you know, whatever. I don't get too hung up on it. It's a fun thing to do, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a game. It's supposed to be relaxing. So yeah, those will be, when this grows in, midsummer, those are going to look great. Back on GPS. We may run out of seeds. We may. I'll have to see. If we do, I'll cut the episode right there, and I'll go grab a handful and finish it manually. I also like that the fields on this map have rounded corners, which seems more, it just seems more realistic. I don't know, it may or may not actually be, but it seems more realistic. I like it. So. Coming off GPS. That corner, sorry, it's not getting the love. Maybe on the way out I'll cut one more row across there just to finish it off. Yeah, right here I came in too close on my tramline row. I'm thinking this is a direct drill because there have been some areas of plowing from when we went over with the Joker. There were a couple places that I missed, and I feel like as we've hit those plowed but not cultivated areas with this, it took care of it no problem. So it doesn't say that this is a direct drill, but I'm thinking it is. It has to be. Right, back on GPS. We'll make it. Yeah. 134 liters. We just need to go right around the corner. Hope we make it. If you go, I mean, this is my little tutorial, whatever. But if you go online and type in FS17 tram lines, or even go to FSUK, there are some unbelievable tram lines. Like, these cats are making like crop circles. I don't know how they do it, but they're beautiful. Which it sounds like kind of a weird thing to say, like, oh, you know, beautiful tram lines, but they really are. They're good-looking tram lines. And it's, I don't know, it's one of those things, like, it's a silly thing. It's like a silly detail in a video game. Who the hell cares? But something about it, man. This game. Oh, this game. Alright, so we're gonna go... Yep, we should, wow, we should just about make it. We still have, let me turn the GPS back on, we have just a little bit of a row. Got a little crazy there. We have just a little bit of a row alongside the road up the far side of the field. But I think we're gonna run out of seed before we get there. Maybe. Yeah, we're gonna run out just a little bit short. Ain't that something? Or maybe not. No. No way. No way. Are you kidding me? Are you seeing this? Oh. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh. Oh, game. Just when I think you can't hurt me anymore, you turn around and completely redeem yourself. Right. Let's get this thing folded up and get it parked up. We'll call it an episode. That's it, man. That's tram lines. That's how I do them anyway. You can do them however you want. But that's my way. Alright, let me get her shut down here. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17 from Lone Oak Farm. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.